Hello, back by popular demand, more solving equations. Our first example question asks us to expand the following. 3 times t, give us 3t. 3 times negative 6 gives us negative 18 plus 8. On the right hand side, 4 times t will give us 4t. 4 times 7 will give us positive 28. We can simplify the like terms a little bit. On the left-hand side, that negative 18 plus 8 will give us a negative 10. Now at this point, we want to try and get all of our variables on the left-hand side and all of our numbers on the right-hand side, just to make things a little bit easier to solve for our variable. So we'll take that 4t, and we'll bring it over to the left-hand side, where it becomes a negative 4t. Add the 3t that was already there. Now we'll take the negative 10 that was on the left-hand side, and we'll bring it over to the right, where it becomes a positive 10. Collecting our like terms, negative 4 plus 3t equals negative t, and 28 plus 10 gives 38. Now, if we multiply our negative t by negative on the left-hand side, it becomes a positive t. We better do the same on the right-hand side. Multiplying the 38 by negative gives us a negative 38, and there's our final answer. Our next example question, 4 times 2x gives us 8x. 4 times 1 gives us 4. Negative 3 times 1 gives us negative 3. And negative 3 times negative 4x gives us a positive 12x. On the other side of the equation, we'll just keep our negative 9. We'll collect on the left-hand side our 8x plus 12x. And on the right-hand side, we'll bring our positive 4 and our negative 3 over to the right. The positive 4 becomes a negative 4 on the other side, and our negative 3 becomes a positive 3 on the other side. 8x plus 12x gives us 20x on the left. Negative 9 minus 4 plus 3 gives us negative 10 on the right-hand side. So we have 20x equals negative 10. We want to isolate x. We want x by itself. We can do that on the left by dividing 20x by 20. And if we do that, on the right-hand side, we also have to take the negative 10 and divide it by 20, giving us x equals negative 10 over 20. And this can be further reduced to x equals negative 1/2. And there's our final answer for this question. Our last example question has some fractions in it. So we're going to need to find some common denominators for 3 and 4. And to do that, we'll start with listing the factors of 3, which happen to be 3, 6, 9, and 12. Factors of 4, 4, 8, and 12. We have a common factor between the two of them, which happens to be the 12. And we'll carry on with that. Now I'm going to make one small change to the equation. I'm going to list negative 5. I'm going to rewrite that as a negative 5 over 1. It's still the same number, but it's just going to help us a little bit, I hope, solve for a common denominator. So we decided that our common denominator is going to be 12. So I'll rewrite our equation with 12 in the denominator. Now, the first question we're going to ask here is, what did we have to do to 3 to make it a 12? Well, the answer is we need to multiply 3 by 4 in order to get it to 12. If we did that in the denominator, we better do that in the numerator as well. Next, what did we do to our 1 to make it a 12? The answer there is we had to multiply it by 12. We better do the same in the numerator, just to keep things balanced. And lastly, on the other side of the equation, what did we have to do to our 4 in order to make it a 12? We had to multiply that by 3. So we'll do the same in the numerator. At this point, we have all our terms with a denominator of 12, but we want to get rid of that 12 to make our equation easier to solve. We can do that by multiplying the entire left and right sides by 12, and this will have the effect of getting rid of the denominator of 12. Once we've done that, we have a much simpler equation, and all we need to do here is expand the various brackets. 4 times q gives us 4q. 4 times negative 2 gives us negative 8. Negative 12 times 5 gives us negative 60. 3 times q gives us 3q. 3 times 4 gives us positive 12. Again, we want to try and get all of our variables on the left-hand side of the equation and all of our numbers on the right-hand side. So I'll take the positive 3q that was on the right-hand side, bring it over to the other side where it becomes a negative 3q. We'll take the negative 8 and the negative 60 that's on the left-hand side, bring it over to the right where it becomes a positive 8 and a positive 12. At this point, we just need to collect our variables and our numbers, add them together. 4q minus 3q equals q. 60 plus 8 plus 12 equals 80. So we have a value of q equals 80. Now we can test that value by plugging it back into the original equation. So what I'm going to do is, in the original equation, everywhere that we had q before, I'm going to now substitute 80. If this is indeed an equation, the left side needs to equal the right-hand side. So by following these steps, having plugged in 80, we should end up having the left-hand side equal the right-hand side. And in this case, it does. And that gives us added confidence to know that we have actually gotten the correct answer when we said q equals 80. As always, I hope these examples have helped.